Qinfang fired a dart which pierced into the head of the sprint predator, causing 845 points of damage. The mage and the archer were in shock upon seeing that the attack had removed half of the boss's HP. Venom began to seep from the monster's wound, and its body fell to the ground, taking continuous damage until it died. Since Qinfang had dealt more than 90% of the damage, the loot belonged to him. For killing the sprint predator, he received 600 experience points, reached level 3, received 2 evolution points, and gained 55 days of tradable lifespan. He did not expect that the continuous damage of Venom Dart would activate his class's passive ability. With stealth, he could remain invisible and throw darts endlessly. Now nothing in the earlier mid-game could stop him. The loot appeared from the monster's corpse. Wang Mang was in shock at the amount of damage the monster had taken. Several seconds later, the loot vanished. Wang Meng stood up and thanked Qinfang for saving them. But our boy made it clear that in the wildlands, one could not trust people so easily, leaving everyone shocked. Wang Mang thanked him for the advice and decided not to bother him while he checked the loot, adding that if he ever needed anything, he could come look for him. Qinfang collected the loot, realizing that Wang Meng seemed reliable and had the backing of Daxia's government, which possessed many resources. Our boy decided to search for a stable sales channel to sell unused loot. He used Greedy Hand, gaining 3 evolution points and 55 days of tradable lifespan, obtaining Sprint Predator bronze quality leather greaves. He equipped them, receiving 9 points in physical defense, 5 points in all elemental resistances, and a 15% cooldown speed reduction. It was a great catch. Once his bag was full, he decided to return to town and exchange everything for lifespan. His eyes gleamed with confidence. This time, his growth was 100 times faster than in his last life. Not distant from the location, another squad of players was being attacked by more monsters, and seeing that the quantity of monsters was growing, they decided it was better to run. But before they could do so, another much bigger monster emerged, and just before the players could get away, the monster struck with sharp vines, killing them all. The players respawned in the town and couldn't help but feel frustrated, since the monsters always showed up in groups and fled when they had low health. It was said that players had to be level 3 to exit the game, but this seemed like an impossible task. Some players thought they required more people since a team of 3 players was not sufficient, believing they should form groups of 6 or 10 players. The other player argued that this was not going to work since he had seen a team of 10 be surrounded and wiped out. Plus, too many people were going to attract a boss. And recently, a group of 40 had activated some Curse Master, and it had annihilated more than 30 of them in one single strike. Liz's team also respawned back in the town. If the players did not reach level 3, they were going to be trapped inside the game forever. They had all ended up here after falling asleep. So, in other words, only their consciousness was inside the game, and if they could not get out, their real bodies were going to starve to death. Lizzie was frustrated because she did not know why the game was so difficult. Her friend panicked since they had already died 3 times, and their non-tradable lifespan had dropped to less than 10 years, and at this rate, they were going to end up dying in real life. Despite not knowing if it was real or not, Lizzie knew that they could not afford to die again. Upon seeing that Shadow was level 3, she was somewhat confused. Realizing that he must have discovered some strategy, she knew they needed him to help them reach level 3 in order to escape this game. Clenching her fist, she gave the order to her team to share the word. They had to get Shadow to assist them in reaching level 3. She was determined to give him 10 million in cash once they got back to reality. The others were in shock, but she knew there was no way Shadow could ignore the 10 million. Back in the forest, our boy took down a level 2 polluter, earning 20 experience points and 1 evolution point. After absorbing the lifespan of the monster, Qinfang decided that he already had enough evolution points and decided to spend the 5 points he had to evolve Greedy Hand. It boosted in quality, going from platinum to emerald, increasing the chance of obtaining extra loot to 160%, and now the extra loot had a 20% chance of being 1 tier higher. Qinfang was amazed knowing that the effect was insane, realizing that if he continued evolving it, it would reach 100% or even 200%. It was raining and something caught Fang's attention. It was the monster called Curse Master, which was wandering through the forest. This monster was a bronze tier boss and was consuming vital force to progress to a silver tier boss. For Qinfang, it was normal that this boss had annihilated a team of 40 people. For now, our boy had a full inventory. So, even if he killed the monster, he wouldn't be able to pick up the loot. So, for now, he decided to mark this spot on the map. The boss's evolution took some time, so he thought about emptying his inventory first and returning later. In the town, the news that someone was offering 10 million for Shadow, the top player on the leaderboard to help them level up quickly, had spread everywhere. People were dying, losing lifespan, so the rich had already started looking for a way to escape, meaning that the commoners were finished. While people were chatting, Qin Fang appeared in the town, leaving everyone in shock. Using the system, he activated the market stall feature, making the system announce that he was selling equipment and skills with the stall open for only 10 minutes. The players were in shock upon seeing that he was wearing 2 pieces of bronze tier gear and furthermore was selling 2 more. They still couldn't believe that he had defeated a bronze tier boss. One of the players asked why they couldn't see Qin Fang's face. Another player explained that he had enabled the face concealment feature, making the in-game appearance match the real one. So, for this reason, he wanted to remain mysterious. A mage approached our boy's stall and with a curious expression asked how much for the icicle spell, to which Qin Fang replied that it was 100 days of tradable lifespan. She was Grey Rose, currently ranked 11 inches Shelltown, who also had face concealment activated. For Rose, 100 days of lifespan was quite a bit, so she asked if he could lower the price. To which Qin Fang explained that the common tier skillicle spell increased a mage's early farming speed, and 100 days was already a bargain. Rose asked if she could use real-world money, but Qin Fang refused to accept it, advising her that if she had cash, she could first buy a tradable lifespan and then exchange it with him. And if no one offered more, he was determined not to sell the skill until she had the lifespan. She started to ponder, and then using the team channel, she asked her teammates if this was a reasonable offer. They had leveled up to level 2 so quickly thanks to her leadership, so they showed no objections. Moreover, with this skill, they would be able to reach level 3 even faster since the most important thing was escaping first. She asked them to transfer their tradable lifespan to her, promising to send them money when they returned. She handed over the 100 days of tradable lifespan to our boy. Seeing that all of her team members were level 2, Qin Fang realized that they must have killed at least 30 or 40 crawlers. Therefore, their tradable lifespan should be much greater than 100 days. Qin Fang sold the spell, obtaining 100 days of tradable lifespan. Now his tradable lifespan increased from 268 days to 368 days. Just then, Lizzie appeared and was happy to have found Shadow. With a smile, she gave him an offer. In exchange for helping her ascend to level 3, she promised to give him 10 million in money when they returned to the real world. The other players were in shock. She was Jiang Lizzie, and in our boy's past life, she was the leader of a criminal syndicate. Later, her syndicate was annihilated by the government. With a confident smile, she said that her father was the president of Dajong Industries, and seeing that our boy didn't believe her, she asked him to look her up. According to reports, it was said that she used cash to lure people into selling their lifespan, then kidnapped them for forced labor, and those who had resisted had been murdered. In reality, Qin Fang coldly rejected the offer, knowing that she was scum. Lizzie admitted that Shadow was strong in this game, but revealed that no one knew how the game worked. So, she advised him to team up with her, and in return, she would ensure he lived in luxury, cars, houses, women, and everything he wanted. Qin Fang did not change his mind and asked her to stop blocking his business. He, better than anyone, knew that cash was worthless, and soon, the only universal currency was going to be the tradable lifespan. Lizzie became arrogant and made it clear that if this were the real world, she would have given him a proper lesson. With a murderous look, Qin Fang made it clear that if she said another word, he was going to kill her until her lifespan reached 0. Lizzie and her friends felt the pressure, and without losing a second, they ran away from the spot. A few minutes later, our boy sold the last item from his stall, the Gleam Robe of Tier Bronze. Now, he had a total of 546 days of tradable lifespan. Now that he had sold everything, he decided it was time to go deal with the Curse Master. He became invisible. No one knew it yet, but the tradable lifespan could extract skills into reality. And soon, this forsaken game was going to plunge the real world into chaos. Along with the real world backgrounds that people once took pride in, soon only personal strength would matter.